In the sleepy town of Willow night. It was the first time she felt fear wrapped in affection. And then came the gift. On her 24th birthday, Daniel surprised her with the keys to a small cottage near the lake, one he said she could use for her art, her writing, or just a quiet place to dream. But it wasn't in her name. He kept the only set of keys. She told herself it was temporary. It wasn't. What Lily couldn't know was that the house, the flowers, even the handwritten notes, were all part of a pattern. Daniel had a history one never documented, never spoken aloud in Willow Creek, but whispered about in corners of nearby towns. Quiet breakups, women who vanished from the community grapevine. No charges, no files, just silence. And Lily was slowly being wrapped in that silence. Still, she clung to the idea that love, even complicated love, could be redeemed. She didn't know she was already too far in. She didn't know the town would one day search that cottage with dogs and flashlights. And she didn't know that the man who made her feel seen would make her disappear. By winter, the light inside Lily had begun to dim. Not all reinforced with steel bolts and lined with foam padding. Inside, a twin-sized cot, a single light bulb, zip ties, an empty glass bottle labeled with Lily's fingerprints, and on the wall, scrawled in chalk, "You are mine, always." No trace of Lily's body was found. But now, this wasn't just a missing persons case. It was a potential homicide. Daniel was arrested on March 18th and charged with kidnapping, unlawful confinement, and obstruction of justice. As evidence mounted, second-degree murder was soon added, even though a body hadn't been recovered. Daniel denied everything. "She's alive," he said, in one of his final interviews. "She ran away. She'll come back, and you'll all see how wrong you are." But public opinion had shifted. The town that once adored him now whispered his name like a curse. Emily, Lily's best friend, held a vigil in front of the town courthouse. "Lily wasn't just a girl in love," she said. "She was a woman trying to find herself, and he wouldn't let her." The case was far from over, but the mask Daniel Mercer wore for so long had finally begun to crack. The trial of Daniel Mercer began on October 9, 2023, under the blinding scrutiny of both local and national media. By now, the name Lily Hawthorne had become a quiet symbol of trust betrayed a life interrupted. The courthouse in Willow Creek had never seen so many cameras. Outside, protesters held signs. "Justice for Lily. Where is she? Love shouldn't hurt." Inside, the prosecution built its case like a slow-burn documentary, deliberate, devastating, and methodical. Of her schedule and her space. This is often a precursor to escalation. The jury looked shaken, but it was Sheriff Dwyer's testimony that dealt a heavy blow to the defense. He described the secret room beneath Daniel's house, the restraints, the eerie messages. Then, the prosecution revealed a chilling new piece of evidence: a burner phone found beneath floorboards during a second search of Daniel's lake house. On it were 3 audio recordings. One was garbled, but the last 2 were clear. The court heard Lily's voice, scared, exhausted. "Please, I won't tell anyone. Just let me go. I promise." And then Daniel's voice, "You always say that, but love isn't about leaving. It's about staying, even when it hurts." Gasps echoed in the courtroom. Ellen Hawthorne wept openly. The judge recessed for the day. The next morning, the prosecution rested its case. The defense scrambled. Daniel Mercer declined to testify in his own defense. His attorney tried to discredit the audio, claimed it was manipulated, that it was performance art Lily had recorded for a story she was writing. No one believed it. On November 6, 2023, after 3 days of deliberation, the jury returned with a verdict. guilty of kidnapping in the first degree, guilty of unlawful confinement, guilty of obstruction of justice, guilty of second-degree murder. The courtroom held its breath as Judge Corinne LaSalle delivered her sentence. Life in prison without the possibility of parole. Daniel showed no emotion. Ellen and Frank held hands. They didn't smile. Unbreakable love of those she left behind. What makes a monster isn't always violence. Sometimes, it's charm used as a weapon, control disguised as care, and silence imposed like a sentence. Lily Hawthorne trusted love. What she didn't know was that some love stories come with shadows, and that trusting the wrong heart can cost you everything. If this story moved you, or if you know someone in a dangerous relationship, don't stay silent. Speak. Help. Remember, Subscribe to True Crime Vault for more true stories where love and danger collide. And tell us in the comments, what part of Lily's story stayed with you the most?